Hey everybody, thank you for joining the Money Coach Show again. This is one of your hosts, Robert Sierra. We have Damian Gutierrez as well as Tarah Read. I'm going to give you a quick little introduction just in case if you guys didn't catch our first episode. Again, my name is Robert Sierra. I'm a licensed loan officer with Ellen Key. I'm the VP of operations here, so I'm able to make sure that things run smoothly. A little bit background about myself, entrepreneur straight out of high school, wanted to find the fine arts. And hey, yeah, guess what? My entrepreneurship led me into being a salon owner. So I did that for several years before jumping ship once the market crashed. And my silly self wanted to jump into the mortgage industry because, hey, I thought be the change you want to see in the world. And hey, my good friend Damien back in 2008 actually allowed me to cut my teeth in the mortgage industry working at a law firm. And I worked from the bottom all the way up to understanding every nuance about mortgages. Worked in the fintech company where I was able to understand how to negotiate deals for loan officers to illustrate to their clients. And once I ran that gambit for my, 7 years or so, I was like, hey, I'm really good at this. Let me help out consumers, not just loan officers, because that's where I felt the biggest need was necessary, was helping out the average person understanding their finances. And then, you know what? That led me to Loan and Key. And Tara and I, we actually didn't work hand in hand, but in that fintech company, we worked silently next to each other, helping model that. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to introducing Tara and herself.
Hey, I'm Tara. I am the co-owner of Loan and Key Mortgage. I started Loan and Key about 4 years ago when I saw that there was a real need in the industry to serve underserved markets. So veterans and minorities, I realized were not getting fed any information or being educated about loan products and mortgage brokers and how to get, the best financial support when it comes to buying a home. And a lot of people, they don't know you don't need 20% down to buy a home. There's a lot of programs and things available to people to make it easier to get into a home, to make it more affordable. And that's the way to build wealth and equity in your future. And so I really wanted to come back to this industry so that I could help people that weren't getting the help that they deserved. Before that, I was a flight attendant for a few years for a major airline. So I kind of took that time to travel the world, meet new and diverse people. And before that, I worked alongside the president of a fintech company, and that's where it serviced the mortgage industry. So that's where I first got my feet wet in the mortgage world. And so later I realized, that's my passion and I want to bring it directly to the consumer so that I can help them. And before that, I got my major in international business, minor in Spanish at Eckerd College, which is in St. Petersburg, Florida. Love Florida so much. So yeah, that's a bit about my background and why I'm in the field.
Go ahead, Damien.
Hello, everybody. I'm Damien. My CV is a little bit different. I did grow up in the same town as Robert, but I used to want to be an FBI agent. Got an undergraduate from Cal State San Bernardino in criminal justice. Did 2 years with the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department. While I was getting my degree, I worked at the banks. Worked at HSBC in debt collections. Was there for close to 3 years. And when I moved into mortgage with Citibank, I was with Citibank for a few years. I started to realize that I was really good at mortgage banking, and I was losing my passion to pursue criminal justice. And when the Great Recession hit, like Robert said, a lot of people lost their jobs, and I did consulting work for law firms. I knew the whole back end process of loss mitigation. And that was kind of where I got to work with Robert. We got to work together and got to show him a lot of the things that I learned at the mortgage companies, the Fortune 500 companies that I worked for. And then during that time, I was getting an MBA. I got an MBA with concentration in finance. The following 12 years after I finished my MBA, I was an analyst. I was a project analyst, a business analyst, a financial analyst, a business data analyst, and a sales operations analyst. Just to highlight, it was a very eventful 12 years with two other Fortune 500 companies, Teledyne Controls and Southern California Edison. I love numbers. That is why he calls me and keeps referring to me as the financial guru. I am retired these days in Spain, but I love, just like them, I love helping people. I, once again, and the mortgage industry has ensnared, but I'm doing something a little bit different this time in a different role, but still in support of both Tarah and Robert here at Loan and Key, and excited, looking forward to helping all the rest of you see the kind of questions that come about from the show and the conversations that we have, covering your cheat sheet, covering topics that are going to be essential for all of you, whether it's mortgage and banking, credit and debt, or financial planning kind of services in reference to whatever the need would be. That's kind of who we are. So yeah, that's a little bit about who I am, and I'll let you take it from here, Robert.
And as you mentioned, this show is a cheat sheet for people. We want to be able to provide education to the consumer, to realtors, to anybody that's willing to listen to, sound education from, again, I don't know if you guys caught that. The common theme here was not how much we're going to be able to put in the bank account, but how much we're going to be able to help you guys out, because that's the big goal here. It's like, hey, helping people out is the biggest satisfaction I think the three of us get out of this, is being able to see excitement that we feel when we see, positive change in somebody's life. And hey, financial responsibility, home ownership, that's something to be excited about. A lot of people sit there and, oh, I'm drowning in credit card debt, I'm drowning in, whatever, okay, cool. If it's financially sound or if it's financially anything, this is where we want to be able to assist you with that. We can help out with understanding your credit to get it on the road of being repaired. We can help you understand, hey, your investments within your 401k, with inside of any type of holdings that you have. We want to be able to give you the tools to be able to navigate through those the best of your ability. And again, this is why we are the professionals here. We have our financial guru, Damien Gutierrez, who's able to help you mitigate all what you can with inside of your, investment holdings, find out what your ROI is with everything that you have. And that's going to be, again, ROI, Damien, educate people.
Return on investment.
There you go. We're going to be breaking down, acronyms. We're going to be able to educate you on the mortgage processes. Again, at Loan and Key, Tara and I are here to make sure that we shop for you guys, so you guys don't have to do that legwork. We're licensed professionals for a reason, because again, that's what we love to do. That's what, we love to help people. And that's the biggest way we can help people, is by shopping around for them. It's, again, our fiduciary responsibility. And that's a huge on-taking that we gladly take on, because again, we want to make sure that people have the excitement within their financial grasp that we have within ours. Again, we're able to work from home. Damien, like he mentioned, he's in Spain right now and not there on holiday. Damien, you live there. You're retired, but you saw the need that, hey, what, Loan and Key, what Tara and Robert are doing there, it's amazing. I want to be a part of that, because what, he has value to add to what we're doing for you guys, the consumer. And what, this YouTube channel, wherever you're watching it, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, what, this is for you to understand what you can possibly build with inside of yourself. It's like, I'm a big believer in, hey, don't just give a man a fish to eat for the day. Teach them how to fish so you can eat for a lifetime. And what, that's what we're aiming to do. And as I leap from my soapbox here on what we do, because again, it's an awesome soapbox to be on. I love it. I'm going to go ahead and say, hey, Damien, it's like, help us understand a little bit about what's happening now currently in the market, as rates are being spoken about, as people are like, what's going to happen? Being our financial guru.
Yeah, no, not a problem, Robert. They're going to hear a lot of the term basis points. So let's just kind of cover that first and foremost. A basis point is just a measure of your interest rate, folks. So if they say 100 basis points, that's just 1%. That's just one interest rate percent. If they say 25 basis points, that's 0.25 or a quarter of a percent. If they say 0.50, that's a half of a percent. So that's all they mean when they say that. So just to give that some context. And the reason why I'm highlighting that first and foremost before I begin is because on Bloomberg this morning, the analyst projections are saying that it's quite possible that there's going to be 100 basis points, 1%, folks, getting cut by the end of 2024 by Jay Powell, because of he is in control of the Fed interest rates for all of the United States, and that has a direct impact on mortgage rates. So that's what I saw this morning. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let that transition over to Tara, because she's going to kind of add and piggyback on that. So take it away, Tara.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Damien. So piggybacking on what Damien's talking about with the rates, the Fed has another meeting on September 18th, and that's when we're going to find out some more information about what's going to happen to the rates. We anticipate that they're going to drop the rates by 25 basis points, and as Damien said, a quarter of a point or quarter of a percentage, but maybe even 50 basis points, down 0.5%. However, we don't know for sure. We have to be conservative because things could always change. The rates could go up. You don't know. And something that's happening today is the rates are much lower than they have been in the past couple of years since post-COVID. So for those of you that bought a house at like an 8% interest rate in the past couple of years, they're at a low 6 and a high 5% right now. And Damien, if you wouldn't mind pulling up the chart for me.
No, not a problem. We'll get to that.
Financial guru for a reason.
Ooh.
But no, you know what? And Tara's right. So as he's pulling up the chart, I'll go ahead and shut up.
Go ahead, Tara. You go ahead and talk to it and let me know whenever you're done, Tara.
Okay, thank you so much for pulling that up. So as you can see, based on a $400,000 loan amount, when the interest rate on the far right column is an 8%, if you go down from an 8% down to a 6%, you're going to save $193,000 on that $400,000 loan. So guys, just because, you know, we might want to wait to see if rates go down even further. If you got in at 8%, you might want to take advantage of what the rate is right now, because right now we know that you can save money, and you can save money sooner than later. So, and for the rest of you that didn't buy a home in the past couple of years, I would say wait until September 18th. Let's see what the Fed does with the rates. And, you know, let's hope that by the end of the year, we're down a full 1% or 100 basis points, as Damien was mentioning. Something else I want to bring up to you guys is Polygon Research just announced a few days ago that those who work with an independent mortgage broker, as opposed to a retail lender, save consumers or home buyers $10,662 on their home loan. And if you're a veteran, the average saved was over $13,000. And if you're a minority, even more than that. And so for those of you who don't know, mortgage brokers shop with wholesale lenders so that we can find the right loan program, the best rate, the best terms possible based on your financial situation. And retail lenders are your banks and financial institutions, which are just going to have a flat rate and certain loan terms for that bank. So you don't want to go straight to the bank. You want to go to a broker who's going to shop for you and find the best loan program for your financial situation. And, you know, there's the numbers right there with Polygon Research. It just goes to show you can save a lot of money when you just go talk to a broker and see what your options are.
And I'm going to shamelessly plug, that's what we do at Loan and Key. We are brokers. We do the shopping for you, and not to, railroad what Tara mentioned about, hey, waiting until September 18th, because I'm a big advocate of, hey, if you can get into that home now, do it, because it doesn't mean that we can't save you money down the road, because sometimes, hey, you know what, I really love this house. You can bet so do other people that are in the market, and people who probably don't care about the rates, who probably understand I'm going to marry the house, not the rates. So this is where we come in and we're able to help you out. We use a great tool. We call it a total cost analysis, where we're able to show you what it is that you can get now and what you can get later. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and show you exactly what that is, because it's an amazing tool that it's super valuable in my opinion, because it allows you to be able to compare apples to apples. Like right now I have what's called, the cost of waiting scenario. I have a purchase price at the very top here that says it's $550,000 right now, because that's the average medium household that's the average house being sold right now across America. So $550,000. Okay. At the interest rate, yesterday the average closing for a conventional loan was 6.34%. That was the average closing. And these are numbers that we get from the tools that we have at hand so we can shop around for you guys. Now, say if you decide, hey, you know what, let me wait 6 months when rates are better, and that's duly if that's what you have to do, understandably, whatever the scenario may be. Hey, I don't have, and again, like Tara mentioned, you don't have to have that 20% for a down payment, hey, but you wanted to wait. This is the cost of waiting. That price of that home will go up. The interest rate will come down. Are you saving any money? Not really, because there's that savings, $234. Yeah, that was from 6 months. Say if you wait a year, and you know what, goes up another 100,000 for that home. And don't be surprised if you see homes do go up that, and my humble little home, that, that equity did shoot up that much. And you know what? I'm not saving money if I would have waited. I would have had to, endure what the markets were going to, throw at me. And you know what? Get in when you can fit in. And you know what? If you have to wait, that's totally fine too, because we have this total cost analysis that will show you some great tools. Our net worth in 5 years, we can adjust that. We can adjust these numbers, the savings over 60 months, whatever the case may be, your break even point, where we're going to be able to show you realistically the numbers at hand, not just send you out and say, okay, here's the loan documents and here's your interest rate, here's an APR, you deal with it. We're going to be able to educate you, with a simple tool like this. We can go in there and find out a little bit more information, your payment breakdown, what your principal and interest is, what your taxes are going to be. We'll be able to look that up for you. We'll be able to find out what is the average hazard insurance. We like to scale up a little bit just so you're not getting shell shock with what's going to be thrown at you. We will even break down, your closing costs, what you can reinvest in. And as I tail off into that reinvestment, say, you do decide to buy right now, we can show you, hey, if you buy right now, great. When those rates adjust and you want to take advantage of that, you can give us a call again. We'll be able to show you, okay, this is what you can actually save. And we can do something called a reduction payment. Those reduction payments is like a huge, deposit back into your mortgage, back into your equity, where we're going to say, hey, you know what? Yeah, you had a 30-year mortgage. A year from now, if you refinance, you're going to be in another 30 years. But with that reinvestment payment, with the money that you're saving and the money that you pull out, you can put it back into your mortgage and possibly even be ahead of what you were when you originally signed. And it just takes me back to that financial responsibility, where we're able to make sure that you guys have all the tools at hand, because hey, financial responsibility, that's a daunting task. We want to help you with that. Again, it's our fiduciary responsibility as loan professionals, as financial professionals, to make sure that you have it at hand, to be able to say, I'm going to be confident in what I buy, not be sold into something you have, because again, how many of you like to be sold? I don't. How many of you like to buy things educated with that knowledge of saying, hey, I'm an educated buyer, not just, oh, well, I don't want to think about it, because in society, that's what it is a lot. Don't think about it. Let us do the thinking for you. Hey, you know what? Let us help you look at what you need to think about, because that in the long run, Damien is on this call, and he is the man of the hour when it comes to finding out what your 401k standings and how you can maximize that, what you have in possibly a Fidelity account, a Charles Schwab account, how you can financially navigate that, because that's hugely beneficial. There's a lot of times when people have 401ks that a previous job, they don't add to it anymore. And that company says, we don't want to touch this anymore. We're going to roll it over into a Fidelity account, because that's what happened to me with an old job. And when that took place, hey, Damien, I have this Fidelity account. I don't know what to do with. He was there to.
Hey, Robert, you're losing money, because when they do rollovers, they just leave it in money market accounts, which really don't make you a whole lot of money, and they only go with the floating interest rate from the Fed right now. You might want to go ahead and reinvest that.
And I'm gonna even say this much. I'm gonna shamelessly plug. When that reality call took place for myself, and I turned around and made some movements, I was able to see my profit line go dead to now I see on an average quarterly double digits. And I don't mean 12%. I don't mean 15%. I've been seeing 24 to 28% increases quarterly. And honestly, with two of them, I'm not even investing anything. It's just keeping an eye on the market and keeping an eye on what to do, with the tools that I learned from Damien, with the tools that we're wanting to give you, be able to help understand what is next, and honestly, even if it's just mortgage tools that you need to know, and even if you're not a home buyer yet, it's like we're licensed currently, Loan and Key is currently licensed in Texas. We're looking to expand our operations to California, to Virginia, to Florida, different areas within inside the US where we can see, hey, there's growth potential here, not just for Loan and Key, but for the consumers. We see, hey, if there is a thriving market that needs education, we want to provide that education. We're not selling anything. We're not trying to say, hey, here's a locals page, and if you go to that, nope. Hey, you know what? You can see that there's a comment section of however you're viewing this, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. On that comment section, send us a message. You will hear from, the president of Loan and Key, the VP of Loan and Key. You'll hear from our financial guru if it's one of those questions. We will be here to answer any of those questions. We will jump on a call with you if necessary, and I'm even going to say it this way. This is how passionate I am. I mentioned, hey, we're only licensed in Texas right now. Hey, I don't care if you're calling from Montana. I don't care if you're calling from Maine. Give us a call. We want to help you out because, again, at the end of the day, financial responsibility, everyone should have it. It's like I'm a father of two young girls, and I'm trying to make sure that, hey, before they have to be waking up with the reality on, the treacherous walk that it is, I'm trying to arm them now, because again, it's imperative that we all know this, and I think far too long, big banks that you do not have access to their president, you don't have access to their VP. We are here to make sure, hey, you know what? You do have access to us. You know what? It doesn't hurt either of our feelings. Hey, I want to speak to Tarah. By all means, but go ahead. I'm pretty sure Damien would rather hear from Tarah than me on certain things, and vice versa. It's a matter of who you're gelling with, and we want to make sure that you can actually have that conversation with us because you'll be able to see, hey, we're down to earth people. We love to talk what we are in business with, and we want to make sure that you guys do too. And I'm going to do a little offshoot to that. For people that are in Texas, I'm speaking to you right now. We have amazing opportunities for qualified people, borrowers that will allow you to get, down payment assistance programs. If you're part of, we'll say the first responders, you guys have an amazing program at your hands that, takes a licensed professional to be able to take advantage of those programs that you have access to. Don't get mad at me. That's just the way it's been set up. Hey, you have to be licensed so you can have access to this, even though it's for someone else. It's making the two hands meet with one. We also have something called, it's the Home Sweet Texas program. If you're not a first responder, this still allows you to have access to DPA grants, down payment assistance grants. And as I mentioned, grants, Tara, do you have to pay back a grant?
No, this is free money from the Texas State Affordable Housing Corporation. They are trying to help people get into homes. So this is going to make a big difference on, upfront closing costs. Like, let's say we can get you approved for up to 5% down payment assistance, but you only need to put 3% down on the home. We can use the other 2% to go towards your closing costs. So guys, this is worth checking out. If you were on the fence about getting a home or you don't think you have the money up front for a down payment, Texas has some really great incentives right now. So worth checking out for sure.
Thank you, Tara. And and I'll even point this out. If you live in a different state and you're moving to Texas, this pertains to you. You will be a resident of Texas. The property is in Texas, not where you currently live. So make sure that you take advantage of that. It's very, very important that you do because, as she mentioned, it's free money. Who doesn't love free money? It's like, I know if someone said, hey, here's 5% for your down payment, I'll gladly take it. I'm not going to go, it's like, if you do, I would like to have your problems, but I would have to say, even the Jeff Bezos of the world, they're going to take free money regardless what it is. They're going to take advantage of it. If anyone reads, celebrity magazines, it's like they go to these events because they're giving them free stuff. You're able to get free money through programs that we can shop around for you. And again, as Tara mentioned earlier, mortgage brokers, we're the key to saving you guys money. Those big banks, they have a purpose, but we serve a better purpose for people who are shopping for a home or people who are in a home that need to get a refinance. Hey, if you're drowning in debt, you know what? We're going to be able to help you understand how you can best allocate your money to mitigate that debt. Rather it be, hey, let's do a turn in what you're spending on, because we want to make sure that, hey, your credit score goes up, because a better credit score in return yields a better interest rate, regardless what it is. Buying a home, buying a car, hey, I need to go and finance some tires. You have a better credit score, you get a better interest rate on that. Better APR. For the smaller things, and that's one thing that we're going to be jumping on throughout a lot of these episodes, because we're going to do these episodes every Friday. We're going to do a market recap, information with what's happening in the mortgage market, what's going to be happening with inside the stock market, so you can best be armed with understanding how to spend your money. Because who earns that money at the end of the day? You do. At the end of the day, you want to be able to be responsible and be highly armed at the end of the day, because again, that's what we're about. We're trying to make sure that people have that education at hand. With that being said, if there's anything I missed, my co-hosts here, Damien and Tara, they're going to be able to whip me back into shape. And if there's anything that you have to add, please do so.
Yeah, guys, seriously, just remember, when you work with a mortgage broker, average consumer saves over $10,000 on their home loan. Okay, $10,000. That's a lot of money. And if you're a veteran, average was over 13,000. If you're a minority, even more than that. So seriously, tell other people that you know also looking for homes, like, hey, where did you go? Don't make sure you don't go straight to the financial institution where you're going to get one flat rate in loan term. Make sure that you have a broker that's going to shop for you, but also take it a step further. Don't just go to the broker that's going to shop and find the best rate and give you your loan. Go to the broker that's going to educate you. Like Robert pulled up earlier, our total cost analysis, where we're going to find out what your financial goals are. We're going to educate you so that your money can work for you. And there's graphs and charts so you can actually understand the loan process and where your money's going to go, how it's going to grow, so that you can make a confident decision. We're not going to tell you what to do. We're going to teach you so that you can make a confident, informed decision for yourself and your money.
And with that being said, we're going to be there from bell to bell. And what that means is, hey, that initial conversation of, hey, I'm thinking about getting the mortgage. Okay, we're going to walk you through that step. What? During the process step, what's happening through processing. We're not just going to, get you sign that 1003 application and be like, okay, we're done. No, we're going to make sure you understand the complete process of it, from processing to underwriting to funding to the day of signing when you get your keys. We want to make sure that, hey, we're going to share that excitement with you. You're going to find out when you're on the phone with us, we're going to be probably just as excited, if not more so than you are, because again, home ownership is, I still believe it, it's the American dream. It's like, even in the current market, you hear so much negativity talk about, oh, I can't afford this, because the rates are so high, my income is this. Hey, you know what? With proper delegation within your finances, you will be able to afford it, and again, with Tara being able to help understand each week more and more about the mortgage market. Damien's going to be able to help you understand more and more what, the overall picture is within the stock market, And again, you jump on those calls, you jump on those question boards that we have, wherever this video is posted, we will be able to answer those questions. And even if you say, hey, you know what, I'd like a phone call, or, I'd like you to find me on LinkedIn or something like that. We will do the due diligence. Trust me, I will do the due diligence to find you, so we can make sure we can make that connection. We want to bridge the gap. So, hey, we understand you're not going to throw out all your personal information on Facebook or YouTube or anything else like that. We completely understand that. We want to have connections. And again, even look for us, Loan and Key. You can find Tara, Tarah, TARAH, at loanandkeymortgage.com. You can find me, Robert, at loanandkeymortgage.com. And it's super easy. We'll be able to walk you through the process. And even with that being said, as Tara mentioned, you know what, if you're a minority and you're missing out on huge savings by just saying, hey, I'm going to go to the bank, you know what, come to us. Yo habla español. And if I
Sí.
don't know it, if I can't, Damien can rattle off. Again, he's in Spain right now. Obviously, he has to be able to read, write, and understand Spanish to the degree to be able to help service you guys. Again, because we're not going to be that one and chop done and be like, oh, well, we don't know it. We helped you out this far. No, we're going to help you out the entire length of that road. So Damien, if you have a message for our Spanish speakers right now, so they can understand, it's not just some, half Hispanic guy speaking Spanish.
No, este mensaje es para todas las personas que hablan español. Si eres una persona interesada como solicitar por una hipoteca o si tienes la habilidad para calificar por una hipoteca y si tienes cuentas de 401k y tienes cuentas de jubilación y pensiones privadas, pero usted no tiene ninguna idea cómo manejarlo o qué va a suceder con esas inversiones. Nosotros tenemos la experiencia y tenemos las habilidades para ayudarles en cualquier cosa, con hipotecas, con todas las cosas de deudas, de sus pensiones privados, de otras cosas también como 529 o 529 en inglés se llama, pero hay muchas herramientas de inversiones y no es algo que nosotros no tenemos ninguna idea cómo hablar español o comunicar con la comunidad que habla en español, como la comunidad latino. With that said, vamos a tener contenido en español en el tiempo que puede venir también. What I was just saying, Robert, was I was letting them know that we're able to help them in all types of services that we've already mentioned, from mortgages to credit and debt, to their 401ks and their IRAs and their private pensions. Also mention the fact that we have no problem trying to help any of them at any level. And I mentioned lastly that we're going to have some episodes in Spanish in the future. And so you can go ahead and talk to me in Spanish. We'll have it subtitled in Spanish, and then I'll just do all responses in Spanish. And then so that way it at least helps out reach the demographic, because we're trying to help out everybody, not just English speakers. And that's it for me. I'll get off my soapbox now.
Hey, soapboxes are needed, especially when you're delivering information, be able, because again, and I wouldn't even just say information, it's education that we're delivering, and again, it's free education by just tuning in. And with that being said, I guess this can be a close to our show. Tara, Damien, I want to thank you guys as always for being, the co-host of this show, even though I ramble on probably more than I should, which I apologize about that. But at the same time, I have a lot to say. There's a lot of education stuck in this head here about, what your mortgage can do for you. It's like how much skin you have in the game, and, how much that can offset you for the projected future, because we all have a future, and let's live it smartly. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys, and thank you for tuning in, and guys have a great rest of your day.
Bye. Thanks, Robert. Thanks, Damien.
Bye.
Thank you.